Gasangwa Constantine has been in Nyarugenge prison for 4 years. Together with his colleagues, they say that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, they've not been visited by their families since early 2020. Due to the lockdown, our families haven't seen us since then. We are always concerned that we didn't have any information about each other. However, in an effort to find solutions, the Rwanda Correctional Services says they've established a telephone line for prisoners to communicate with their families. Each prisoner is allowed 5 minutes to communicate with their people. A cross-section of prisoners say they are glad this initiative is in place at a time visiting isn't allowed. They give us 5 minutes now since the phone was put in place, but it's still challenging for us because you have to wait for all the other people to call and then have to buy another airtime card. Protecting people is one thing, but for us to know information about our people is also important. Hence why this phone came as a solution for us. Some family members whose people are in prison are also happy to be able to reach them. During the last lockdown, for example, our person fell critically ill and they called us. We found them in Kanombe Hospital. I thank the government of Rwanda for having thought of that initiative. It's a great one. Sometimes without communication, one wonders if their person is alive. So when they call us, we thank God for hearing from them. Nonetheless, calls are being made for a call center to be established for families to call and access information about their people in prison instead of waiting for the prisoners to call them. If they could put a toll-free line, it would help us a lot because, for example, we might lose someone at home and we need to pass on this information to the person in prison. But since the only means of communication is when they have to call us, it becomes hard to exchange information. SSP Peli Uwera Gakwaya, the spokesperson of the Rwanda Correctional Service, says that there was a plan to set up an unpaid line at each prison where family members would call and get information about their people. Truthfully, the prisoners are many and the time currently given to them is limited, but it at least gives them the basic communication with their families. But officials from the Rwanda Correctional Services have decided to start the use of short codes as communication channels for families to be able to keep in touch with their people and know how they are doing. The Rwanda Correctional Services says COVID-19 vaccination is ongoing in all prisons across the country, making it a possibility for prison visits to resume soon for those that have a negative COVID-19 test.